Man, it is an absolute gorgeous night here in the New World. What is up, people? It is me, Monster58, and welcome back to another episode of Monster Hunter World. In the previous episode, we ended up taking down the Tempered Kirin, allowing us to increase our Hunter rank cap from 49 all the way up to 100. And in this part, what we're going to be doing is we're actually going to be taking on a siege quest, the first of its kind that we have access to in the game, first of its kind that was ever added to this game, and also an extremely tough quest. So, when it comes to the siege quest, before we even get into that, I'd like to actually give you guys a quick compilation of a lot of grinding, because between last episode and this episode, I did a ton of grinding because it's been about a week or two, week plus since I've been able to put out a video for you guys. But during that time, whenever I had free time, I basically grinded Monster Hunter, and this was the fruits of my efforts, so enjoy. Alrighty, and getting back into it, let's head into Astera, because I'd like to talk to you guys about a couple things. So, first things first is I ended up...
gathered at the main gate. Seems like they're getting ready to go out on an expedition in the forest.
I don't know if I did this in the previous episode, but just to show you, I sort of edited our item sets, and they're all, like, really well, I think they're well done here. I think I have a good amount of stuff. I might end up condensing them and seeing what I need, what I don't need, but for the most part, I'm pretty happy with how everything has turned out so far. And in addition to that, I've done a ton of resource grinding as well, so when it comes to getting, like, you know, crafting materials and everything like that, I have done that. Now, you might be noticing that I have a new armor set. In addition to that, I have a new weapon. Now, when I'm recording this is actually after I've recorded me doing the siege. And the reason I'm recording this now is because basically, so today is a Monday, June 17th was when I'm recording this. This will come out a week from today on the 24th. Essentially what I was doing was yesterday on the 16th, I decided to... You know, I was grinding and I decided to do a test run for the siege because I wanted to make sure that I was able to do the siege without getting absolutely annihilated in the siege, as well as not being useless in the siege. And it was going so well that I decided to turn that into the recording. So, as a fair warning, the video that you will see following what we're going to be talking about today will be all recorded, will have been recorded before I recorded the intro section here. So, going over my equipment before we get into this, I'm not going to go over the actual weapon because that kind of spoils what we're going to be doing. But taking a look, I actually got the full beta set for the Teostra armor because I wanted slots. And in addition to that, the Teostra armor was the strongest fire resistance armor set that you can get up until this point, at least that I have access to. And in addition to that, I think that the Master's Touch stuff is really, really good on this for the armor skill. And also, I was able to grind a lot of Tempered Elder Dragons, or a good chunk of Tempered Elder Dragons, to be able to get Gleaming Streamstones, which allowed me to get all of this up to max defense. So all of these are now, I'm around 450 defense now. What we're going to be taking on today, I've mentioned to you in the previous couple episodes, we've been taking on Tempered monsters. The monster we're going to be taking on today is what is known as Arc-Tempered. Arc-Tempered is extremely strong. Like, it's stronger than Tempered, and they have more health, and they deal even more damage. I believe the calculation is around 3 or so-ish times damage than a regular non-Tempered monster. So, like, if you're fighting Kushala, you have regular Kushala. Tempered Kushala does about a 1.5 times more damage, maybe close to 2. Arc-Tempered Kushala will do about 3. So this monster will do about 3 times as much damage as the original, like, regular version of this monster. So I recommend you have at least about 130, 150, maybe even 200 health. Recommend you have around 450 defense and 30 fire resist. I definitely recommend you also take the fireproof mantle into this. Currently, my build is I'm using a water weapon with a part breaker charm with the temporal mantle and the fireproof mantle. Fireproof mantle is kind of like mandatory in this, I think. And anything else you want to do with your meals and your food, that is obviously something you're going to want to do. But yeah, I have this, and I was able to do it yesterday with all of this armor. I actually not only did it once before I recorded the video, once during the video, but I also did one later that night to farm some extra materials, and farm some extra weapons. So getting into it, to get into the siege, what we're going to have to do is we're actually going to go to the gathering hub here. And you will be able to access the siege from here. And I think this is where I will essentially cut the video. So the video that you will see moving forward, by the way, the handler changed her outfit because it's the Summerfest. And also this whole area changed because it's the Summerfest. But with all of that out of the way, what I think I'll do is I'll cut it to what I recorded yesterday, and you guys shall enjoy that. I hope you guys really do. And yeah, last fair warning is that the monster voiceover for this new monster that we're going to be taking on in this siege is going to be a fair bit longer than others because it is essentially a raid siege quest. Think of it like a raid or a siege in like Destiny or in WoW. There's mechanics, there's a lot of stuff that goes into it, so it's going to be a fair bit longer than the usual voiceover. So everybody get ready. Hope you enjoy the rest of the episode, and I will see you guys on the other side in the next episode, at least this present me. So enjoy past me playing out the episode. Alrighty, folks, enter Kulve Taroth, the golden-plated Elder Dragon, the first raid/siege quest that we have access to, so buckle up for my explanation. Like I said earlier, there's a lot to talk about. The thing I'd like to talk about here is this is Arc-Tempered. Like I mentioned in the beginning part of the video, when it comes to Arc-Tempered monsters, this thing hits like a truck, and she has several one-shot moves that I believe I do point out in the actual recording, because like I said, I recorded that yesterday. I'm recording the voiceover as well on the same day I'm recording the intro. So yeah, just want to point that out. Just be very, very careful. And yeah, let's get right into it. First off is her physiology. She has this massive golden coat, or shell, if you want to think about it like that, around her. That can be broken off. And that's your whole goal, is to essentially break all of this off, but in addition is break her horns. In addition to in her golden coat state, she is slower, but her attacks have really large hitboxes because she's massive. She's arguably around the same size, if not bigger, than Xeno'jiiva, especially with that golden coat. When she sheds it, however, she becomes deceivingly quick, and we'll talk about that sooner or later. Also, her weaknesses and resistances change whether she has that golden coat on or not. So she's weak to thunder with the golden coat on, and it's not molten. She's weak to ice without the coat. She's neutral to dragon and water. Neutral to dragon and water. She resists dragon with the golden coat on. She is immune to ice with the golden coat on, and she is also immune to fire and thunder without the golden coat on. So that was pretty confusing, but I will, like I said, links in the description to the Extra Life wiki, so you guys can take a look at the weaknesses. It may be better for you to read it and read their explanations too, so that you're not as confused as maybe you were listening to me. Her horns and her entire front body are the weakest points, as well as breakable. Again, those horns are what you got to be aiming for. Mainly her forearms, her chest, even the backside of her golden coat, as well as her head, are really, really susceptible to damage. She deals a lot of fire damage, so the best things to do, like I said, bring fire resistant armor, Teostra armor, or any other fire resistant armor that's strong enough, and the fireproof mantle. Fireproof mantle is essentially, essential. The main goal, like I said, is to break the horns, and it's no easy task. The fight is broken down into arguably 3 or 4 stages. Some people say 3, some people say 4, which reminds me, I will be leaving links in the description to some reputable guides that I find reputable. You guys are obviously free to look up more guides on this yourself, but these are the ones that I used, especially when this thing first came out, when this raid first came out. The first part is where she's moving, yes, it's a she, throughout a series of paths in the area where she drops some of that golden coat, as well as she leaves tracks. Your goal is to pick these golden coat little droppings up, because those add to your, obviously, your ecological research, as well as your research points towards the monster, while also damaging her as she moves. You can get her to stop for short periods of time, and the best places to do this are the areas with falling boulders. There are 4 different spots for falling boulders, and these are significant as they deal a lot of damage, and they help to break these horns. Although the horns themselves cannot be broken until the last stage, the golden coat that she wears can. If you break this before the final stage, you get 3 extra carves. In this phase, there are also cannons that you can use to deal damage. Now, these aren't necessarily necessary, because with the squads that I ran, usually people just end up skipping over the cannons, or if they do use them, it's very minimal. Be sure to use the wedge beetles scattered around here to move quicker from place to place, because she moves pretty quickly and the area is pretty large. The best places to hit her are, like I said, the uncovered front legs, the chest, and the face when you can get to it. Definitely remember to tenderize as well. Once you get through her first area, she'll end up in a more open area where she actually fights you for a bit. This is the best place to mount her using wedge beetles, and I know people will also flint shot her into the walls as well. Essentially, the wedge beetles are on the ceiling, so definitely be aware of those. But she gets into a heated, molten state. When you get her into her heated, molten state, her entire body will essentially glow red, and you'll notice that, and you'll see the gold will become more vibrant. This state is important because her entire body becomes a weak spot, so unload as much damage as you can into her as possible, and you break off as many points as possible. But she also becomes more aggressive, so be aware of that. Be sure to watch out for her fire attacks, as they can easily one-shot you and deal lots of damage, but I'll point these out in the live. But the ones I'll say is that she has one where she breathes fire really quickly in front of her, and then she also has ones where she, in various different variations, she will essentially breathe fire that's essentially lava across the ground in an area. These cover a huge area and they will deal tick damage. The best thing to do is if you're caught in it, to Superman dive over and over again, or run away from it as fast as you can if you're far enough away. The one thing about these two phases that I didn't mention yet is that essentially during these phases, she will be dropping lots of those shinies, those little silver shinies that you can pick up usually from monster materials. Pick those up, and what'll happen is as she moves through the areas, you'll end up running into, like, if you break off a part, she might drop some of her golden coat. You can actually carve that for monster materials. In addition to that, you will end up running into little patches that you can press B for a controller or whatever the equivalent is on PC, and you'll essentially see a lot of bugs that will carry around all these shinies, and then you just run around to pick up those shinies and stuff like that, and then you will get those monster materials, and that's really important to get a lot of materials from this fight in particular. In the second phase, once you've beaten her in that sort of open area, she burrows her way into the next area, so be sure to sharpen, drink cool drinks as you'll be in a volcanic area, reset any buffs, and head on in. Your goal here should be to deal enough damage to be able to break the entire coat off her body. If you don't, she'll escape you and she'll fail the siege. Now, when it comes to this, I'll address this now. Essentially, what you'll notice is that there's pursuit levels. So the idea is that you have to corner her, and don't be surprised if this takes you multiple attempts, because usually people who run it will just end up putting up the siege immediately again, and then you can run it with the same people that you were running it with, you know, the randoms and whatnot. As you increase your pursuit level, it ends up being more and more easy to corner her, and obviously to increase your pursuit level, you have to hit her, deal damage to her, and stuff like that. So that's how that pursuit level works. Usually if your squad isn't able to run it very well, you'll just have to do it over and over again, but that's the name of the game. Sometimes you'll get lucky, sometimes you don't. Just depends on how well you and your squad mates know the entire siege. But your goal in this volcanic area, like I said, is to deal enough damage to break that entire golden coat off her body. Use the volcanic eruption traps as well as the stalactites to damage her, very similar to the falling boulders. If your group is consistent, you should be able to knock off that golden coat with relative ease. It might take you a couple tries though. She'll then shed the coat and then burrow her way to the final area. In the final area, it's not really all that large, so be careful about getting hit. The biggest two things here are, one, she has no more coat, meaning she's actually really, really quick. Be sure also to make an ice, to bring your ice weapon, but I like to stick with water. She'll have an attack where she essentially rains lava down from the ceiling, and this is like her Nova. When she breathes fire, she'll essentially get lava droppings that'll hit you. They deal a lot of damage, so again, be very careful. One tip I can give you is, Eric's pointed this out, Crystal Burst. You can shoot it at her to flinch her when she's using that fire breath attack that covers an entire area in essentially lava. Shoot it at her face and she may flinch, causing her to possibly get knocked down. The last thing I'd like to point out, and my biggest tip when fighting Kulve Taroth, do not stand directly in front of her. Unfortunately, if you stand directly in front of her, she will absolutely annihilate you, excuse me. There's so many times where you can stand right in front of her, get fire breath, and instantly die. With your armor, as long as you're at 450 defense, you have fire resistance up to around 30, and you have extra health, you should be able to survive at least one hit with still a good amount of health remaining, but be sure to bring extra materials, extra resources, so like bring extra honey, bring extra max potions, you know, stuff to make that stuff, just to be absolutely safe, especially if you do tend to heal a lot. So, again, links in the description to some extra guides that probably do this guide better than me. And I'd like to point this out too, is when it comes to this guide, this little, I guess, like, explanation, I am not the end-all be-all when it comes to being an expert on this. I am no expert on this. I'm giving you guys my tips and tricks, the way that I like to play this and fight this, because this is one of the best fights in the entire game in my opinion. It's so much fun, very enjoyable, even with randoms. So yeah, that's about it for Kulve Taroth, I think, everybody. Let's get back into it.
There it is, at last. Reminds me of that time. Now get out there.
Alright, now that we're into this, let's see. So we're going to do all this first. And like I mentioned to you guys in the voiceover, when it comes to Kulve Taroth, I mean, this thing is tough. It's because the only version now that you can fight of this thing in
can do this.
Low rank is, or high rank is the arc-tempered one. Alright, so we're going to follow this thing here. You're going to see these other guys, they know way more than me, but at least what I'm going to try and do is tenderize this thing. So, let's grab its face real quick. I probably didn't actually need to use the fireproof mantle here. What are you going to do? Let me just actually yoink it off for a second. Ah, that was a mistake by me. And then we're going to do this. So, one of the biggest points about Cold Teroth is to weaken it here. You really want to tenderize it here. Well, we at least... Okay, so we heard it. We didn't get a knockdown, which really sucks. But basically, those falling boulders are really important to be able to do a lot of damage. You saw we did 2,600 damage with this thing. It's kind of crazy, right? Now it's actually getting angry. Alright. Nice, nice, nice. So now, when you get these boulder knockdowns, everybody run to its head and hit the head as hard as possible. Ow. Hey, bud. I know we're on the same team, but damn, you don't gotta shoot me. And boom. I know I should have done the better CB thing, but hey, man. Just trying to get as much damage off as I can right now. I'm just gonna charge up the blade now since I can. Okay. Real quick, I'm gonna just... Ow. I'm gonna sharpen real quick while we have the chance. And like I said, while Cool Teroth is going around, you're gonna see all of these like little... you see the Gajalakas, you can kill them if you want, but basically you're gonna see a lot of these, and these are the materials you're gonna want to pick up. You got a ton of them. Usually after every sequence, and then now, like I mentioned, you're going to want to use the wedge beetles to get around for the most part. So, you got to move up here. I'm going to do this. Because this is such a massive area. I'm actually not sure in comparison to the actual areas in the game how big this is. I think it's comparable in size though, so let's keep going. I'm letting the fireproof mantle recharge because I was an idiot. Oh, I was so late. Yeah, this is gonna suck. We're gonna do our best here. Let's see if I can at least get this off. Okay, so I got something off. Okay, I'm okay with that. You're gonna want to carve this. And so basically, like I said, also, or I might have, may have not, as you're hitting Cool Teroth, essentially, parts of her gold will fall off and you can carve it, and this is one of like those parts broken things, so definitely go and carve those because you'll be able to get the materials needed to make the armor. So now again, this is for high rank, and sort of as I implied, when it comes to Cool Teroth, in the new rank there's also a version of Cool Teroth in the new rank, and it's also very strong. So now, I mentioned also that usually that people will use the cannons and stuff like that. Like you're seeing right now, it's really not necessary, but it certainly can help. But yeah, as you can see, no one here is using them, and it's not required. Obviously, it can be helpful, especially if you can land the shots. But I think people have found it's really just more efficient to just annihilate her. I'm gonna do that. Come on. Knock down. There we go. Wait, why didn't she? I'm so used to her falling down. Oh, come on. I'm holding that button first. So, I know we're sort of in the middle of the Cold Teroth siege, but understand we are at pursuit level 5 or 6 or something like that. I think maybe 7. So basically the idea is you have to do this a lot, and you have to do it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. But that's like the whole point of the siege. And as you can see, you might have seen in like, I might be flashing some of the footage on screen, you might see like, oh, another group met this objective. So you're going to want to pay attention to that and get into lobbies with a lot of people. Usually late nights on weekdays or weekends, like I'm recording it right now. Excuse me, recording it right now. Those are usually the best times. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And I'm going to do this. Because the one thing I was worried about with this, and the reason I needed to grind, is because I did not want to be useless. You know what I mean? I did not want to be useless Andy in this fight. I'm still decently useless, but at least I'm doing something. Alright, let's see if I can grab its face. Its face looks like it's still tenderized, so. Nice. It's gonna hurt. This is gonna hurt. Actually, it didn't hurt as much as I thought it would, so. Man. Now there are wedge beetles at the top of this. You can see there's a ton of them. There's a bunch of wedge beetles here. I was afraid she was going to roll, which is why I stopped the whole thing here. We're just going to hit the sides here. I feel safer here. Uh-oh, this is going to hurt. Yeah, there goes most of my health. The reason I have the fireproof vent is because of that. I do not want to be on the receiving end of that, because that is a absolute one-shot move. So is that roll right there, which you might have seen in the last recording, is also a one-shot move. Oh wow, she has no shell already. That's wild. Usually you have to wait until you get into the fourth area to. Oh, dude, let's go! And I'm the one who mounted it. Let's go. So, see, guys, I'm not useless. Nice. Nice-oo. Now this is a siege. I love this siege. It's so much fun. This is my favorite siege. Well, there's one more siege in the game that I like, but it's hard because they're both a lot of fun. Like, genuinely, I think both of these are just hella fun. And boom! All right. I'm actually gonna go and tenderize his face while everyone's hitting it. Oh, come on! Somebody knocked me off. Oh yeah, everybody's just hitting it. Okay, nice. So it's gonna burn its way. Yep. Now, in this state, because we were caught up, I wasn't explaining. Caught up in fighting it. Essentially, she's a lot faster, and she's a lot more agile, and she'll do a lot of different charging moves, kind of like a Diablo Sin Baroth, actually. She's just very fast. She's a lot faster than you'd expect, because you're usually fighting her when she's really slow, right, with all the gold on her. With this, she is extremely fast, like very, very fast. So we'll grab these. There's Crystal Burst there. I just want to grab this last Cold Taroth material. I'm going to reset all of my buffs here, which attack and defense up. I'm going to grab a cool drink, and I'm going to join the rest of the crew so that we can fight this thing. Gonna take a cold drink as well. That's one thing I'm missing. Yep. So, do you see that stalactite right there? That's one that a lot of people tend to drop on her because it does a lot of damage. So, yep. I'm just gonna block it. I'm just gonna block it. Boom. Okay. Okay, now she's angry. Oh my. Nice. I was actually the one who did that. Wow, I'm surprised. Look at that. Guys, I'm not actually crap at this game. As soon as I say that, I get hit. Uh-oh, 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 uh-oh. That's what I'm talking about. That charge is extremely scary and will more than likely one-shot you. Very nice. Did we drop it on her? We did, I think. I believe we dropped it on. And she's kicking down. Oh! Okay. Please tell me that, like, she get... Okay, yes! So we are in the final phase of the fight. So this phase is the scariest phase. So essentially our goal, like I mentioned in the voiceover, is to break those horns. In the new rank quest, I'll just tell you, because, I mean, I've been talking about it anyway, you have to kill her in the high rank. In the new rank quest, you will have to kill her. In this one, you just have to get rid of the horns here. So, again, very scary here. She can drop molten lava from the ceilings, everything along those lines. She can do her charge attack. She uses this little centerpiece over here. She'll end up using that. So, just get ready. It's going to be a lot of fun. Oh, wow, she got knocked down. I am so sad that I wasn't there to capitalize. Oh, yep, this attack is extremely scary. I'm going to chuck on my fireproof mantle as well. I'm going to try and hit her tail. No, never mind. The reason I'm using a water weapon, by the way, I don't know if I'll explain that before this, but it's just mainly due to the fact that she resists and, like, I would bring an ice weapon, but she resists and takes advantage. She, like, resists and gets weak to it at various points, and I'd rather just be consistent with my damage. God, it took me forever to actually tell that to you guys in a way that makes sense. Very nice. She's not... I can't get... I'm just gonna go. Very nice. Yeah, they were able to break them more than I was. I just got jammed in the leg, but yes. And there we go. The Kulve Taroth siege has been completed. I'm actually very surprised I was able to record this as fast as I was. I was kind of just grinding. I finished grinding that really what I wanted to and wanted to see if I could actually do it before the actual recording. But I don't even have to record this episode. Wow, that's awesome. Now, this siege, I will not more than likely be doing this siege until we get until the end of Iceborne, because, funnily enough, when you get to the end of Iceborne is when I think this siege matters the most, and plus, I think it's better for me to do this siege later, rather than now, because I'll be able to just do it without actually having a headache of, being just completely useless. Like I showed you in the clips, I did some of those clips on my main account, on my main file, so it ended up making it really easy for me to just, no-brain it, just kind of like autopilot. But yeah, an incredible siege. The one thing we miss is she'll end up setting the ceiling on fire, and then it'll drop molten lava and rock, and that'll do a lot of damage if it hits you. So be careful about that. But yeah, really freaking awesome. I'll say GG's. Yeah, this is a very easy thing to run with people. I like randoms. I think that this is a very easy siege to run with randoms. The Behemoth, on the other hand, I don't think is super easy to run with randoms, especially when you get to Extreme Behemoth. But yeah, even Arc-Tempered Kulve Taroth was able to do it pretty solidly. And so here, yep, we got a ton of materials. And I'll end up showing you guys the armor here, because the armor is actually really freaking amazing. But like I said, because this armor becomes useless as we're going into the new rank, I'm not really going to be doing this beyond what I just showed you guys. So very, very cool. I got Clever Clutcher, nice. And I even got the mount on it, so I'm happy that that was the case there. So very, very cool stuff. And now, to get our rewards, we just walk over here, and then you'll see... Kulve Taroth Siege, and then you'll say obtain rewards, and then you get a ton of different rewards. So there's a ton of different weapons, materials, stuff like that from the siege. So we're going to take all, and then you get to pick. So how many picks do we get? We'll see how many picks we get. How many picks? So I like a charge. Wait, let's see. Ooh, I like a charge blade there. I'll take that. I like dual blades. Another charge blade and dual blades. Okay, we can get some. Let's get the switch axe. Oh wait, no, we can just. Oh, we can take them all. Whoops, now I'm stupid. Sorry about that, guys. Usually, so in the other siege, they essentially you pick weapons. So. Very, very cool stuff. Awesome. So I'm going to actually just cut real quick because I'm going to go back to the trade yard. I'm going to leave the session because I don't need to do this anymore. And I will cut because I need to do a couple things like Tail Raider Safari, change my session because I don't want to impede these guys in their progress. So we're going to go ahead and switch to an online session. I will see you guys in just a second here. Alrighty, folks, we are back. So time to show you guys. So let's go to the equipment we got here. So we'll go to the equipment. And we will sort my weapons by rarity. And now we have a ton of Kulvtaroth stuff. And I'm actually going to probably equip. Let me see. So it's water. Has less attack power, actually, funnily enough. Than my Girtodis one. But it actually has less affinity and a less strong element there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set decorations real quick. I'm actually going to go here. I'm going to remove that. Manage items or change equipment. We're going to go here to the Kulvtaroth one. I am going to set decorations, and we're going to set the vitality. You guys also might be wondering how I got a ton of jewels. Actually, I probably explained that because it's really weird how I'm recording this. I am recording like an intro because I'm recording this on a weekend when I wasn't expecting to record this. Usually this is Sunday, so tomorrow is when I'll be recording like the intro and all that stuff. So it's a weird thing, but I might have mentioned it to you guys already. But essentially, the reason I got so many decorations is because I did that greatest Jagras event quest, which essentially allows you to get a ton of decorations. So if you go here to the greatest Jagras, you have to be careful. This Jagras hits really, really hard, like one shot potential hard. But yeah, I got a ton of decorations with that because I farmed that a couple times. Alright, let's go and take a look at the armor. So taking a look here, you have the Kulvtaroth armor, and it just looks sick, man. It looks really freaking... Oh, wait, that's the Drachin armor, sorry. The Kulvtaroth armor, really, really, really cool. And here is... So this is the Gamma set. So this is like the big boy set for fighting Arc-Tempered Kulvtaroth. Like I told you, there's other Gamma sets. But I personally don't care to fight like Arc-Tempered... was it like Arc-Tempered... Kushala Deora, Arc-Tempered Lunastra, Nergigante, Teostra, and Valhazak. They're minorly different, so you can see here, they're just a bit different. I mean, I can show you guys the pictures on screen of the other armor sets if you want, like the Gamma sets that I haven't gone over, so you guys can take a look at them. But because, again, like I told you, the armor in the previous ranks becomes useless because we're getting into the high ranks, into Iceborne, what ends up happening is, why am I going to farm for that set when those sets are going to be useless anyway? So, yeah, this is really cool, though. You get, like, it's like, how do I describe the Kulvtaroth armor? It's very grand. It's very classy. It's very just like, look at me, everybody. I'm drenched in gold. And, yeah, it's just really, really awesome armor. I mean, we can take a look at some of the weapons, too, that we got. Let's go to change equipment. I'll show you some of them. So, here's the Charge Blade. So, that's the Xeno'jiva one. Here's the dual... Shut up. Can I... How do I preview? I can just do that. Yeah, I don't know why I'm... And then here's the Insect Glaives. They look pretty cool. Wish we got a hammer, though. That kind of blows. But yeah, there's that. Here's the Switch Axe. They're all just gold, and they're very, very neat, like, in that regard. So, there's that as well. But yeah, guys. Here is... he's like a little lion. Look at him, he's adorable. And then the weapon is like... Actually, they're like throwing knives, but it's also like one of the... Japanese style fans, right? You know, I don't know what they're called. I'll throw a name of them on screen right now. And this is for the that's cute. This is for like the summer event that I pointed out to you guys that we started because the handler's outfit changed because of that. But yeah, really, really cool stuff. This I think would look better on a cat that actually doesn't have pink on him. Even though this fits him perfectly. It fits me absolutely perfectly. But yeah, like I said, this Let's Play is basically halfway over because Iceborne is arguably two Monster Hunter worlds. Like, it's, you know, you have Monster Hunter World and then you have Iceborne. It's basically both things are the same size. That's how much content is in Iceborne. But with pretty much all of our high rank quests out of the way, the only quest left is when you get to Hunter rank 100. And like I said, because it takes so long to grind up to Hunter rank 100, I'll just do it at some point when we are in Iceborne, whenever we get to Hunter rank 100. So when it comes to the ranks, I'm like, I think I am Hunter rank like 186 or something like that, and the new rank I'm at like 120 something. So yeah, just wanted to point that out. But yeah, that's pretty much it when it comes to all of the high rank stuff that we were going to be doing before we get into Iceborne. And I think that the Cool of Taroth siege is a perfect place to end it all off on, because that is such a fun siege. I love that siege. It's really freaking cool the way that they did it, and I am over the moon with it. So like I said, with that all out of the way, next time on Monster Hunter World, we will be getting into Monster Hunter World Iceborne, and you guys can look forward to that. That'll be a lot of fun. So, with that all out of the way, I thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this video. Please like, comment, rate, and subscribe, and share this video with your friends. Also, follow me on the socials. Those will be linked in the description below. And with that, guys, once again, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this episode, and I will catch you all in the next one. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Peace.
High ambitions in the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off from a break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft. You can change lives.